Hi, it's Kathy from Raven Vintage. Welcome back to my craft room and welcome to 100 ways to use scraps. Gather around, everybody. We are going to make a botanical collage. That's project number 48 on our list of 100 ways. I am going to use my little collage book we started just so that I can have a small space to work in, so I'm not overwhelmed by a great big masterboard. But of course we could do this on a larger masterboard if we wanted to. The reason I'm going to go small is because I need to do some fussy cutting for this. Now I did just purchase some, and maybe we'll do one of these too, but I did just purchase some of these die cuts from the dollar store, so we could use those, but the whole point is to use our scraps. So I have a little bit of fussy cutting to do. So what I grabbed was some of my test prints, so I'll be fussy cutting those. I'll be probably fussy cutting some of the, this is a perfect spot to find florals on, and especially matching sets because of the wallpaper borders. I have some of my these sunflowers. These botanicals, I have vintage botanicals in my Etsy shop. I have great big huge ones. I have those same botanicals in matching journal pages. And then I have postcards. I think the postcards are listed too, of these vintage plates of botanicals. So I'm going to cut out some of those. Some of this water stain stuff I showed you before, I'll take some of those perhaps. This is wallpaper, vintage wallpaper, so maybe one of those. I don't want to go too small, but I do want a little bit of variety. And then I have in my basic journal pages in my Etsy section there, the section on my Etsy shop, sorry. And then my shabby florals that I have. Those are going to be great to grab. Like I could grab this one and this one and this one. I'm going to probably start with something like that as a base, as a background, and then maybe something a little brighter to pop in the front. And then I do have one sheet for neutrals, so I grab that, and again just some wallpaper borders. We'll see, these are really pretty here, so stand by. I'm going to fussy cut and then I will be back and show you what I came up with, and I'll give you an idea also how long it took. I'm in between watching my granddaughters live at their dance competition, so I have to pause when their numbers come up anyway. So doing great today so far. They won a top award for one of their group dances. So if you're a dance grandma, you can understand my excitement. I love that we can watch them live. It's so fabulous. I will attend some of their competitions in person, but I am babysitting their dog this weekend, so it was a longer away time. So yes, today I get to watch them live, and it's so exciting to see them in their costumes. And yes, if you're a dance grandma, you know what I'm talking about. Okay, I'll be right back. So I took about 15 minutes to cut a few pieces. Mind you, I was answering some messages at the same time, so not quite 15 minutes, and just taking my time, but doing some fussy cutting here with some of my printables so that I could use those. And then I realized I had that one sheet like this for neutrals, but I think I'll just use the perimeter of the postcard sheet because that'll work just fine for our purposes. Here we're doing a collage, of course. So we're overlapping pieces, placing pieces, and we're just going to place them where we think it looks nice. Because you can either use these as is, or you can use them for the background for a sentiment or a photo or a Tim Holtz dolly or something. Or you can cut them into journal card size or tag size. So let's do, let's start out with so this is kind of big for this page, so I want to break this down a little bit. I spent a lot of years, my daughter was when she was young, she was into baseball mostly. So we spent a lot of time, you know, doing at the ball diamonds. And otherwise she was into like musical theater and that sort of thing. And then later on she picked up, her father taught her guitar. So that was kind of a solo thing. She would just do that at home. Those were her interests. And then my, later, next phase, my stepkids at the time were into hockey, both my stepson and my stepdaughter. So we spent a lot of time at the ice rink. If I had my druthers, I'd rather, I don't know, baseball or hot summer baseball or winter. I'm not sure in the cold arenas. I'm 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. And then my stepkids got into lacrosse, and it was a lacrosse association, a young association in our area, and they needed help, so we ended up volunteering. My husband at the time coached, and then I thought, well, I could use my administrative skills, I can help. So I ended up being their secretary, and then eventually president of the lacrosse association. So I love the game of lacrosse. Spent a lot of hours volunteering. I have definitely paid my dues when it comes to volunteering. However, like working full-time and then spending another 40 hours at the lacrosse arenas, sweaty, hot lacrosse arenas. And I loved it. I just loved it. But now my granddaughters, another stage, are into dance for the most part. More into the arts and dancing, and they try their hand at other sports too, but nothing really interests them too much as far as sports goes. But they will definitely participate in things. But when I'm talking about being serious about sports and in the way that you're traveling and competitive, that would be my granddaughters with dance. Just going to do this here. Okay, get some greenery going as well. So these, and this is from the same paper, so you can tell by the dots on it. So let me mix that up a little bit. This thing is just gorgeous, and I don't need to use a whole thing. I think I'll split it up a little bit like that. I think it's pretty. So we just want to start fitting things where they fit, and maybe leave your edges up so you can tuck or do whatever you want to. If you want to go ahead and lay your entire base first, that might not be a bad idea as well. So this stuff doesn't all really necessarily match too well, but let's get some more of these basics down here. Like this. Maybe like that. It's a big one, but that's going to take up the middle, and you know how we feel about middles. You know how we feel about our middles. But yeah, I'm really loving the whole dance. It's really interesting. I had 2 nieces, my brother's girls were really into dance, and it was just a whole foreign concept to me because my kids were always, athletic sports. Dance is also athletic, very athletic. Very much so. It's just not your typical, when you think of sports, well, I didn't anyway. I didn't think of dance, but now I do. I see all of the hours and the practice that goes into it, and it's phenomenal. So that I think is going to be really pretty up here eventually, and I think I need to break that up with a little bit of neutral something at some point. Is there time? Let's see. Is there time? There we go. There is now. We'll make it happen. There we go. Like that. Sorry, I keep slamming my tools down. But this is just where we have permission to play and just kind of see where things, you know, audition pieces to see where they look nice, the nicest. Oh, I kind of like that there as well. I probably should have started out laying things and trying things. And before I went gung-ho and started gluing them. Do better than me. You know what I say. Okay, I like that there. So let's see if we can make this happen. These are really pretty pages to do. I don't do them very often. I should do them more because I think there's just really beautiful. And when you have your leaves cut, when you do fussy cut, you can kind of maneuver things to suit. So I need something underneath there. Little color, perhaps. Oh, I don't want green. Maybe this purpley color here. There we go. And then I can get that leaf down. Beautiful. And we will come around and, of course, trim our edges. So yes, I like this here. And maybe to balance this orange, I'll come down. Maybe it'd be better if I came down here. Let's see. Like this. Well, don't forget we can add some green back here as well so that we're, let's do that. Let's add some green like this, just to make sure things are covered so I don't run into that again. I think I'll cut that off like that. Greenery, always cut some greenery for filler. But we still have these neutral bits, and I feel like I want to put some more neutral at the bottom here. We'll just do this. Like that. Okay. That looks good there. And thank you everybody for your tips about the gesso, and like I have a lot to learn about all of that business. I'm just going to make this shorter. Fill that in. See, this isn't getting filled in real well. So I'm going to fake it till I make it here. That's not bad. Yeah, I just, it's so funny too. Then my sister ended up posting, she was working on using her jelly prints and working on an Easter mixed media. It's so funny that I haven't talked to her in the last little bit, but it's so funny she was working on mixed media too at the same time. But now she actually knows what she's doing, unlike me. Okay, so far so good. I really want to use this purple guy in here somehow. I feel like maybe he'll go here eventually. We'll see. But isn't this fun? Just covering things until things are covered. And this green. I'm probably being way too carefree about my placement here. I could be a little more careful. Like that. Just going to do a little swirly cutting. There we go. Get that in there. Oh, not quite. I'm trying to cover up this book page down here. There we go. Back in. Okay, now let's try to place our purple guy. Where is he going to look the best? I kind of like this trajectory angle here, like this, over top. I like that. I feel like I want to cover just that little bit there. So we'll just change the angle a bit. And then see how this green here is hanging over? I'm just going to borrow that and cover up that book page right there. And I think that's going to work just fine. Yeah, let's just do that. So let's just cover up this book page bit here. I think that'll do it. I still have this nice orange flower too. Well, I have 1, 2, 3. I'm happy with that. And then this will kind of be like a, it's not really a focal point, but okay. I don't really like that green on green, but I also don't hate it. There we go. Okay, so far it doesn't perhaps look, it looks botanical for sure, but let's see here. Maybe that'll help balance the blue. I was going to say I didn't really want to pull in blue and add another color to this, but okay, and then maybe this has a little bit of blue on it. Maybe we could add something here like that. Maybe you could add this little dude. It's not showing up really well. It's not really showing up well, is he? So we might forget him. But balancing out this blue, I'm going to do something like that. No, I like the 3s again. I think I might just do 3 things like this. Yep. So I don't know if there's time to pull any of this up with the glue stick. There might be, and I can tuck that in a bit. Yes. Cute. Cute, cute. And I can also come in with my regular glue. There, and let's see if that is in fact the best place, maybe here. Kind of disappears there. That's a little better, isn't it, right there? So you can just add a tiny little bit of ephemera to your little botanical collage. But you're going to add it to an existing journal. So then you might want to consider inking the edge and rounding the corners, and even possibly trimming with some lace. Okay, so that's pretty on its own, but let's see what it looks like when we take it out of our book. Standalone. Very nice. So we can, there, beautiful edge on that. So that looks nice and tidy. We'll do a nice, the biggest corner on this one because it's a larger piece. Worked up about doing the mixed media. But this is 48. Oh, that's really pretty. But do you see what I mean? We could do some, well, here, let's just grab some of that lace we bought today. Actually, let's just do it. Let's do it. I saw somebody else just recently refer to it as a glue book. Now, when I think of a glue book, I think of an actual, like a smash book, glue book, someone like actually journaling, not a glue book in the way like we're using it, but somebody is. I saw somebody refer to their book like this as a glue book. So that's a great thing to call this, I guess. I like it. I will get that recorded and checked off our list, but what a pretty little botanical collage. How nice is that? So just remember, you can either start with a page behind you. I could have left it as book page, actually. It would have been fine, but I was looking for something a little more contrasty because the book page itself is a little yellow. Like they're kind of brownish yellow. This is a little more white, so that was a nice contrast. But yeah, it's just some muted ones, and then don't forget your greenery, like all kinds of greenery, and then some beautiful flowers, and then you can add tiny little bits of ephemera in after. You could do some stamping and add some lace, all the things. So, well, thanks for hanging out with me today. I quite enjoyed that. Tomorrow we're going to do a vintage collage, so we'll look forward to that one. So grab your vintage images. I think it would be kind of fun to do a bunch of vintage people. I think that's what I'm going to go for tomorrow, and any other kind of like vintage photographs kind of thing. If you're looking for some, don't forget I have that digital #1 on my freebie #1 on my coffee shop there. There's some ladies there you could use. You could cut them out. That would be probably enough to do a page with just the set of ladies that are there. If you're in my Etsy shop, I do have some people that you can print in black and white, old photographs of people, all ages. And if you're looking for, if you don't have, I don't want to use Tim Holtz dollies because they're just a little too thick. I think it would really be too bumpy. So I would rather use something on plain paper if possible. So magazines, you could cut out people from a Sears catalog if you want to, actually. Okay, just to get the idea. Let's do people tomorrow for our vintage project. I'll see you then. Take care. Bye.